Lieutenant General Shadrack Sibiya sat to the Madlanga Commission for 3 long days and he got bribed. In this video, I'm going to show you what happened there, and if you stay with me all the way till my biblical reaction, you'll get all the highlights of what happened. And just to remind you that South Africa will prosper. So you ready? Okay, let's go.
I feel oppressed, Chair.
No, feel free to comment.
I feel oppressed in a sense that this is an official process. It's not a private process, it's an official process coming from the minister to the national commissioner to me. We are all in it.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. Day 1, Sibiya comes in and he says, I want to give you my CV first before we get into the matter.
I will start with my career path because to me this is what is important for the commissioners and the country at large to know where I come from. And from there I will be talking about the labor disputes and investigations encountered that led to my dismissal from the Hawks initially. And my arrest for the alleged involvement in the rendition matter and alleged fraudulent travel claims and allegations of high treason and espionage against me and public protector investigation that was conducted in the city of Joburg and my suspension from SAPS following the disbandment of the PKTT. For now, without any waste of time, I just want to shoot straight to my CV. I am currently employed by the South African Police Service and I'm appointed as the Deputy National Commissioner and I'm responsible for crime detection.
10 minutes later.
One of the highlights of my career is when I was invited to speak at the OECD Global Anti-Corruption and Integrity Forum career in Paris, in France. On the 27th of March 2018, I featured alongside dignitaries such as Mr. Robert Poeti, a Minister of Integrity in Public Procurement and Information Resources in Quebec, Canada, and Gustavo Ferrari, Minister of Justice for the province Buenos Aires in Argentina. Subsequent to the disbandment of the Scorpions.
Sorry, General, and I'm very sorry to interrupt. I appreciate that you want to dwell on your CV and you want to explain this. It's important to you. But I have noted that your CV is 18 pages long. You're on page 2. And if you were to continue at this pace throughout the rest of it, it might take some time. Could you, instead of reading it in, just tell us what the highlights are?
Commissioners, I thought together with evidence leader we agreed that my CV, where I come from, is important to me and to my career and for the commissioners to know where I come from and for the people of South Africa to know who is sitting here accounting in front of them. So to me, my CV, as I said earlier even in the meeting, that my CV is very much crucial to explain where I come from. Now, the story that I was telling, commissioners, if you can see, is just one more page. The rest is just your relevant experience, your qualifications that are not really a story like the way it is. Some are courses. So I think the commissioner can just pay me.
May I come in then, General? If, as you say, you have one more page,
yes,
then we will allow you to continue. I'm sure you saw us whispering maybe about 3 minutes or so ago. We too were concerned about the detail into which you are going on the content of your CV. That much detail is taking up a lot of time. But if, as you say, it's just one more page, you may go ahead.
Thank you very much, Chair. I will skip some of the paragraphs or maybe some of the... But
thanks, General.
20 minutes later.
I wanted to go to my responsibilities and the performance contract that I signed with the National Commissioner. Now, on the other hand, you may find that I'm going here just to be able to say these are my functions. But maybe perhaps it is very much important to read my statement and focus on it.
I think it's better that way.
Yeah, so that what?
I think it will be too much to go into the actual performance contract.
Thank you, Chair. I've spoken about my career path, which is now...
Well, an hour later, we had still not gotten into the matters But Sibiya has some problems with Mkhwanazi's fame.
What worries me is that, you see, when you look at all the provincial commissioners, no one you will see on social media. No one is being spoken about on social media. They don't have followers because you are not allowed to be on social media as policemen. But you've got this one provincial commissioner who's on social media every day. Now, you've got political parties fighting to have him. He's supported by MK. Then you also have, I spoke to one MMC. He was asking me, what is going on in this thing? We want to understand this thing. And I said, I explained, and I said, you know what, the problem is that even though we see what is happening, the problem is that in KZN, when you get heard speaking against Mkhwanazi, General Mkhwanazi, then you see people beginning to have some cliques and distancing themselves from the party. Now, we've got now this person who's got social media following, a lot of them. I'm told that there are many thousand accounts on social media.
Does General Mkhwanazi have his own accounts, social media accounts, or does he have a presence on social media through posts by other people? Because if it's the latter, you cannot expect him to have control over that.
Directly or indirectly. There's no way he's not involved. For simple reasons.
No, can you answer, does he have his own social media accounts? Yes or no?
I don't know about that, Commissioner.
So I'm not sure that it's fair then to make the point that you appear to be trying to make. Because he has no control over what other people post about him.
May I respond, Commissioner?
Yes, please.
If this is the case that he does not have control over what people say about him,
I don't know. I'm just asking. Yeah.
Yes, I'm responding to Commissioner.
Yes.
It cannot be that it is only about General Mkhwanazi, not any other provincial commissioners, because many commissioners, if you ask them who's the provincial commissioner of Northern Cape, people won't know. But what I want to say is that all the pictures, all the photos, whether it's camouflage, whether everything that is happening on a daily basis about General Mkhwanazi is on social media. And then when you say something here, when I sit here and say something, whether it was on radio, on TV, or an interview, whatever, the many attacks that I get, it's a lot coming from the same direction. And then the excuse that says, I'm not on social media and I'm not the one and I'm not responsible, I don't agree with that notion. But social media has been...
Sorry, just before you go on, I just want to clarify this. In response to the Chair's question, you're saying that you don't agree, but you're speculating that there's something more to it. That the social media, numerous posts on social media that are in favor of General Mkhwanazi and against you is orchestrated somehow. But you are speculating.
No, I'm not speculating.
You have evidence.
Everything about him gets immediate attention.
You've said that all these favorable social media activity in favor of General Mkhwanazi, there's something going on there. And Ms. Hassim was really asking you, do you have facts or evidence in support of what you're saying, or you're speculating that General Mkhwanazi may have something to do with it?
I know I'm not speculating. It is the case. But the simple question is, do you have the account name? Do you have the account number? Do you know this? I won't have it. I don't have it. But why I'm saying that, I have been given names to say, this person who's responsible for General Mkhwanazi's social media are the following, or is this one. I have that name. But up until I also have evidence or proof, I cannot sit here and say, here is this name. But I do have it.
I think the point lies in the last thing that you say, that you don't yet, at least, I'm happy to put in the word yet, you don't yet have proof of what you have been told by somebody, that there is this person who's in charge of that account. You don't have proof, and I think you've just said that right at the end.
Let me accept that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
2 hours later, the commissioners interrupt him to try and find out, was there ever a reason to disband the PKTT?
You cannot focus your energy and your resources only in one province and create an elite within only one province that is serving only one province. That is why, personally, I say we need to build capacity throughout the country. Now,
General, the question was, please show us in this document where it said the PKTT must be disbanded.
Let me try to look for a paragraph. I thought when I said let us not look only specifically at the word.
Show us where it says a decision was taken to disband the PKTT. Where does this document say that?
Chair, so that I don't spend time going up and down, am I allowed to read the paragraphs so that I will come across the paragraph that I want to refer to? Because I can let's say
it's a long document. I have no idea which paragraphs you are referring to.
Yeah, 8.10 says current task teams be subjected to an impact analysis by organizational development plan in the province to ensure the feasibility of the existing teams.
We were told that there's a difference between a unit and a task team. Is that so indeed?
It is correct.
So the PKTT is a task team. You read 8.11 that refers to the closure of units. So does that assist you?
It does, Chair, because at some point, this is a report that was crafted by a person, a human being, who sometimes interchangeably uses the words. But I just say, at this point in time, I wish I had gathered those points that are specifically to be able to respond to this question, but maybe I might have to come back to it.
I think you see, I'm asking you this specifically because where I referred you to earlier, the several bullets at 786, the writer refers to task teams in so many words, whereas in 8.11 reference is made to units in so many words.
In other words, the author of this document doesn't confuse task teams and provincial investigating units. The author says current task teams be subjected to an impact analysis to ensure the feasibility of the existing teams. So it requires a review, not a disbandment.
But somewhere in a document, there's somewhere where they talk about provincial capacities. These capacities at provincial level. This includes the task teams as well. And for that matter, Chair, we have task teams nationally, every province, many task teams. They get established, and when they have performed their duties and they are satisfied, it gets disbanded. It doesn't continue on an unending basis.
That's a different point. What Mr. Sim is trying to establish is where it said that the PKTT must be disbanded. But I think you said in the end that you would want to go through this document thoroughly to be able to answer the question. I think in the interest of time we should move on.
5 hours later. Remember, nothing has started. He's just ready CV and ready statement.
In the explanation that you've been giving for the past few minutes, you have dealt with what starts from paragraph 103 up to, you said what, Ms.
115.
Up to 115. So I think what you should do is just to consider whether you agree that that is indeed so. If you do, then you start from 115 or 116.
So I'll read from 105 so that I just take it step by step.
105.
Tell me where to start, Chair.
I think, yeah, well...
Let's just let the general start.
106. You read 105 already.
I'll go from 106,
yes.
Chair. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
What is evident from the above is that there was no express instruction to withdraw dockets from the PKTT.
6 hours later, we still have not entered into anything, but General Sibiya would like you to stop being naughty on social media.
Chairperson, with respect, allow me to raise this one. I'm not being critical, but I'm just putting it with respect, Chair. When the Chair says General Mkhwanazi rejected the docket because he felt that this docket, he didn't know how they left the province, and the Chair said, I can put myself in General Mkhwanazi's shoes. Now, then Commissioner Kumalo says, all of you must accept that you failed the people of South Africa and you must apologize. I am the very first one to stand up. Immediately after, when this thing exploded to the media, I realized that we are now embarrassing ourselves, we are embarrassing the police, we are putting the police into disrepute, we are embarrassing government. And then I said to the people of South Africa, I really apologize that we have to go through this, and we as the management of the police, we have to do this to the people of South Africa. I'm the first one to say I apologize. I was even mocked. They created the body of a dead person who says, I apologize. But I apologize because to me, it's an embarrassment. Commissioner, I come back 37 years old, 37 years doing this job.
7.5 hours later.
Should I proceed?
You can proceed with your statement.
It's 5 p.m. Let's stop here.
So finally, day one had ended. No real engagement, CV and reading a 90-page affidavit. So finally on day 2, he starts being questioned, and the first problem he created for himself was to come up with 6 times that he's been investigated or accused.
You spent some amount of time taking the Commission through a history of complaints or investigations against you. There are about 6 of them that you've listed going back to 2015. Is it correct that each of these complaints against you were brought at different times in different work environments?
Correct.
The first is the dismissal by the Hawks in 2015. Is that right?
Correct.
Then the rendition matter. Then the alleged fraudulent travel claims, allegations of high treason, public protector investigation, the whole investigation into the city of Johannesburg, your appointment, salary, procurement of equipment, and then finally your suspension.
Correct.
From the service last year.
Correct.
I take it you don't suggest, therefore, that there is one person that is orchestrating these complaints or one group that's orchestrating these complaints against you?
It's not correct.
So the reason you provided this is to say there is an orchestrated campaign?
Yes, and I gave a clear background in that regard, where it stems from, and as a continuation of what happened and the role players, so I substantiated where I come from.
Okay, but when you say it's orchestrated, who do you say is orchestrating it? Because you've agreed that they all happen at different points in time over the last 11 years, in different work environments, brought by different people.
Chairpersons, I don't think I need to go any far other than to refer the commissioners to the court papers themselves. All the judges that were involved and their comments about what happened, my involvement, whether I was involved or not, leading up to the CT where all the judges where my matters were presented ruled in my favor, and based on the fact that there's no evidence against me or I was not even involved.
I accept that. I'm not saying that you are guilty of any, I'm not commenting on the merits of any of those complaints. I'm talking more about the purpose for which you've put it before this commission. You're saying because it's orchestrated. That suggests that there's one person or one group of people that are that's doing this, and I'm asking you, and you're saying, yes, that's true.
Yes.
So who is the person?
I underlined political interference in my judgments. And then now I indicated commissioners and said, it is this political party, the MK party, that started the marches, that opened criminal cases, that do it around my buildings. Now, and then I also even went to an extent of mentioning that the same minister who was the minister at the time I was expelled, I'm dealing with the same minister who is actually behind the political party that is actually dealing with my situation.
So the answer to the question is, it's the MK party.
Well, it's one of them.
And who else?
Remember, there are many role players at different stages.
Okay, so there isn't one person or one grouping, there are several groupings.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, then he was asked about where does disbanding the political killings task team come from? Where does that idea come from?
Among others is the murder and robbery unit, whose mandate will be to look into the political killings and taxi killings, police killings, all those killings.
Yes, General. We must start somewhere. Yes, you refer to several meetings and documents and so on. We must start somewhere. So we have started with SS47. All that we want is for you to show us a decision that says, PKTT, you are now being disestablished or being disbanded. Show us that you've taken us to 6.4.5. All that we are able to glean from that is a plan that was being proposed. You have taken us to 6.4.5.1. There as well, we see nothing unless you go back to it and show us. We see nothing that says, PKTT, you are being disbanded. We don't see that. Show us, take us. You said you went through this document overnight and that you did so thoroughly. Show us a decision that says, PKTT, you are being disbanded.
All I can say, Chair, is that in all these documents, re-establishment and this one of evaluations of the implementation of...
You'll take us to others. Let's not be disorganized. You'll take us to others, please, General, please. Let's deal with SS47. In SS47, show us where there is a decision that says the PKTT is being disbanded. You'll take us. We will give you the opportunity. You will take us to the next one. We will not gag you.
Chair, I'm trying to respond now to this question in the overall, because these two documents that I'm sitting with, there is no where it is written PKTT must be disbanded. All of it. Because the document was not only meant for the PKTT, it was meant for all the task teams, which included the PKTT.
Okay.
All right, then.
Can you take us to where in this document it says that task teams should be disbanded?
The reason for the establishment of these units was to ensure that provincial directed investigations.
Sorry, where are you reading from?
6.4.5, line number 1, 2, 3, 4. Then
are you reading the same thing again?
Could be conducted with the alternative function to also replace a numerous task team that were functioning at provincial level, to replace the numerous task teams that are functioning at provincial level.
Right, and we've already gone through this. And
so, Ms. Hassim, let me try and do something that I'm hoping will be helpful, will get us past this point. So 8.10 puts it beyond doubt that this document does not recommend the closing of task teams at all. It says they must be subject to an impact analysis. It's not in 6.4.5. And in fact, 8.10 contradicts what you're saying.
8.13, can I read it, Chair? It says the provincial investigation unit be removed from the structure of the detective service as a prioritization as well as cost-saving measures as referred to in paragraph 6.4.5, 6.4.6, and 6.75. However,
that says nothing. No, before you go to however, can we agree that the text that I have read, that you have read, that the chair and Ms. Hassam have referred to, all of that text, nowhere does it speak about the closure of task teams in general, and nowhere does it mention the closure of the PKTT in particular? Can we at least agree on the text that we have read?
I agree, Chair.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. And I take it you don't wish to take us to any other part of this report? Can we move off this report then?
Just one last sentence that I want to make, Chair, in relation to this thing. When I'm sitting with a document as approved by the National Commissioner, I understand that the National Commissioner signed it on the 5th of the 6th month. That says implementation to be implemented by the Deputy National Commissioner, Crime Detection and Divisional Commissioner. Implementation of specialized units. Specialized unit meaning including, among others, the murder and robbery unit, which is to take care of the political killing task team. To as far as I'm concerned, it was actually dealing with the same issue. But if the commissioners are of the view that for as long as there's no weight that says disband the PKTT, then all this is irrelevant, I will then accept. There's not much I can say about
or any task team. The document doesn't recommend disbanding any task team.
But this document clearly deals with the rampant task teams that are existing, and it says they take capacity from they disempower the units, they impoverish the units. And I'm trying to find a gap of explaining something, but I'm not, because I don't want to go to look like I'm just rampant.
There are 2 points here. The first is that it says that current task teams must be subject to an impact analysis. Right? Right? So, presumably, once an impact analysis is done, there will be an evidence-based decision of which task teams are to be disbanded, correct?
Yes.
And this document was only signed off in June 2025, right?
Yes.
And that was well after the decision was made?
Yes.
6 months?
Yes.
Okay. So the second event that you said, why this is no...
Just before that, General, also, you remember yesterday, I asked you a question whether you accept that there's a difference between task teams and units, and you accepted that there is a difference.
Yes, yes, Chair.
What my colleague Commissioner Baloyi took you to, that is paragraphs 8.10 and 8.11, they don't deal with the same subject matter. 8.10 deals with task teams. And it doesn't say task teams are to be closed or disbanded. It says they are to be subjected to an impact analysis. And then 8.11 says provincial investigation units that have been established be closed. So units. So there's a conscious distinction by the drafters to refer to task teams and to units. And task teams under which the PKTT falls are to be subjected to an impact analysis. So there's simply no question of a recommendation for the disbandment of the PKTT or any other task team for that matter. So your problem seems to be that you use task team and unit interchangeably, which is wrong. Do you accept that?
Can I ask the Chair a question?
No, please respond to mine.
Chairperson, let me accept and move on.
Please, thank you.
Thank you.
After accepting, 2 hours later, goes back and says, I no longer accept.
In the decisions, would you agree that there's also no decision that's recorded for a review to take place of task teams, including the political killing task team?
Unless I don't read English well, because when I see here, it says the minister further indicated that there must be a reconsideration and review
Yes.
of certain capabilities.
Yes. So that we've read that, and we've, this is clearly the discussion that took place. But the minutes reflect the decisions, and there are 3 bullet points. And what I'm saying to you is that not only are you correct that there was no decision to disband taken in that meeting, but there was also no decision that a review should be conducted on the political killings task team. Because if there was, it would be reflected in the minutes. Don't you agree?
I agree.
And would you agree that even apart from these minutes, no review was taken of the political killings task team before 31 December 2024?
Because there was already a document that is in circulation, so there was no review.
There was a document in circulation. Which document?
This one of the one that we read earlier.
The Murray report.
Yes.
Okay, but the Murray report we've already established was talking about proposals for the future. I'm saying, was there a review ever undertaken? A review of the capabilities and value of the political killings task team before the decision on 31 December, between this meeting and 31 December?
I thought I responded, Chair. I don't want to be evasive. I want to answer question honestly.
Was there a review undertaken pursuant to the meeting of 1 November 2024?
Not pursuant to the meeting of the 1 November.
That was your question.
Yes, thank you. That answers the question.
You want to say something, General?
What pains me is that I'm being pushed into a corner of saying, was there disbandment instruction, yes or no? Was there a review? There was a document that is in circulation where I also signed, where finally the National Commissioner at his own time then also signed and say implementation must be done by General Sibiya. So I wouldn't expect that there should be another review on top of a review that is running, that is already in place.
General, please understand what's going on here. We want to get the full facts. This is not about pushing you in any direction. If, as you say, there was something decided in accordance with the Murray report, you have said that. You have dealt with it. Now we are dealing with the minutes of the 1st November 2024. And you have read the highlighted part where part of which says the minister indicated that there should be a reconsideration and review. Now you are being asked a different question now. It's no longer about the Murray report. It's about the meeting of the 1st November 2024. and you are being asked a different question. Was there a review? Because we want to get all the facts, the full facts. Was there a review pursuant to the 1st of November 2024? We are past the Murray report. That's why you've already responded to the question. I'm just giving this explanation to disabuse your mind of this idea that you are being pushed into any particular direction. That's not the idea. These are different facts. You've dealt with Murray. We are now dealing with the 1st of November 2024. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. And the reason we're dealing with the minutes of the 1st November 2024 is because you drew to our attention that this was a significant event that led to the disbandment decision of the 31st of December. So just to explain why I am taking you to the minutes. Now, we've dealt with the minutes. There's no decision in the minutes to either disband or to undertake a review of an analysis and an evaluation of the political killings task team that we've established. But my next question is, despite this, was there any review taken of the PKTT between 1 November and 31 December?
The answer is no.
Okay, thank you.
But can I clarify something?
Yes.
Remember that this was a consultative process, because there was a statement made by the National Commissioner that there was no consultation. So this document was meant to demonstrate that no, there has been meetings, several meetings, consultative meetings. It may not be the meeting that says disband or a decision taken that now we are disbanding, but this thing was discussed, ventilated in several meetings, of which the 1st of November was one of them. Thank you, Chair.
But would you agree that in order to make the decision to disband and for a proper consultation to take place, there would need to be an evaluation, an impact analysis of the PKTT?
I don't agree.
So on what basis then would the decision be made? How does one assess then that there's no value being added by the PKTT?
When a decision is taken to disband a task team, under normal circumstances, in every task team, this is not the process that we follow or that is being followed.
Who makes the decision? Let me start there.
The provincial commissioner can make a decision, or he who established a task team can make that decision.
Yes.
Yes.
No, I accept that, but I'm asking you whether there would be a review. There would be some basis, there would be a reason to make that decision. You don't just make a decision without reasons.
Yes.
Okay. And do you accept that in 2024, the state of knowledge amongst the senior members of the service was that the PKTT was doing very good work?
According to their reports, General.
Yes.
And you shared that view, that they were doing good work?
Yes.
Okay. So what then do you say was, but you say that there therefore doesn't need to be any review. So if in 2024 you say they're doing good work, in fact I think you agreed they were outstanding in their work, what changed?
What changed is the fact that from where I'm sitting, I'm focusing nationally. I'm not focusing only on KZN. Now, as far as I'm concerned, from where I'm sitting, the capacity that is in KZN does not exist in Cape Town, where I'm sitting with gang violence, where people are dying every day. El Dorado Park, Westbury, many other areas. I have also instances where other political killings that are taking place throughout the country, like in Madlanga, where they are not being attended by the PKTT. So which means we focus in the resources, a lot of money, a lot of budget only on one particular task team that is serving the interest of only one province. So I am national, looking nationally at all the provinces.
I'm not sure what the answer is, but let me leave it at that with your response.
As if that wasn't enough, then Sibiya goes ahead and disowns his own signature.
You said this decision, meaning 31 December 2024, was informed by an assessment that the task team no longer significantly contributed to policing efforts. What assessment were you referring to here?
This letter, from the very onset, it is known that I am not the author of this letter.
Again, we have a signature by you on a document that's a lengthy document, but you disavow the authorship of this, the ownership of this letter.
It's not
comment on that.
It's not a difficult question that you are asking. I'm just worried that we all agree that it comes from the Office of the National Commissioner,
Well,
and that it can be signed by me. And when I read it and I went through the contents, to me, it was a plan on how to go about in disbanding. I signed it.
it doesn't sound like a full and candid response, General, because what you've said, first of all, let me just say, this letter is not a letter that's prepared like an information note is prepared, and you see who the author is of the note, and then you have a signature that recommends, you endorse it, in other words. A document that's prepared by someone else, it usually then says it's prepared by somebody else. That's the first thing. Right? You agree, this is not that kind of letter. It's not an information note kind of letter where it says it's been prepared by someone else. Right?
It is that kind of a letter that it is prepared by someone, because it was sent to my office from the Office of the National Commissioner.
Well, no. It was a draft that you had prepared together with General Rabi. General Rabi was assisting you. That was what you testified to yesterday, and that's what's in your statement, that General Rabi was tasked to assist you. But you have to satisfy yourself that you are happy with the instructions that you are giving, because this instruction doesn't come from General Rabi or from the Office of the National Commissioner, it comes from you.
Simply put, it goes out as your letter, General.
It's true, Chair.
Signature at the end is yours. You are not recommending to anybody. You are signing a letter that's yours. And even at the top under inquiries is Lieutenant General Sibiya. It's your letter.
That's correct, Chair.
Yeah. Yes, Ms. Hassan.
Thank you. So can I go back to now the contents of this letter and ask you questions about it, because
Yes.
it's your letter?
Yes.
Okay. So the first question I had was, what was the assessment in paragraph 2? What was the assessment that was done that concluded that the task team no longer significantly contributed to policing efforts?
That is a question that is based on the. Can we go to the letter that itself that was written by the minister, because I think the words originate from that letter itself.
Okay. So you're saying that this is a reference to the minister's assessment?
I think so.
In the second bullet, you say, summary of key considerations that resulted in the decision to disband the task team. This letter is addressed to the head of the task team, who did not support the disbandment of the task team. How would you expect him to prepare a report that explains the considerations that underlined the decision, that were informed the decision of the minister? How would he know?
Earlier, I indicated that he never really indicated that he does not support at all. Even the National Commissioner never indicated that he's not in support. So he never indicated that he does not support.
You're saying General Khumalo never indicated that he did not support the disbandment of the task team that he was the leader of?
Yes, he never.
Sorry, General Sibiya, when you drafted this letter, you could not have known that because you had not engaged with General Khumalo at this point. So when you drafted this letter, how did you expect him to comply with the second bulletin 4.1? You signing this letter on the 17th of January, and you have not spoken to him at all about the PKTT.
That is correct.
So how did you expect him to comply with bullet 2 when you signed this letter? That's really the question.
Chair, because when I write this letter, I write it as positive as possible, knowing that this is an official document with the Minister and the National Commissioner's blessing. So I write it to him. And then if he himself was not in agreement, he would have responded to this letter, also in writing, and say, I see you wrote this letter to me, but I'm not in agreement. But instead, we don't have that.
And on day 3, he was grilled about the 121 dockets, and he crumbled.
This, read with the minister's statement, indicates that the minister did not request that the 114 court-going cases must be removed. Do you see that?
Yes.
So your instruction for those dockets that were on the court roll to be transferred to General Sentumule was your own instruction. It did not come from the minister, and it did not come from the National Commissioner.
Yes, it was my instruction based on my responsibility as the Deputy National Commissioner of Crime Detection.
Yes, but contrary to what this plan says.
I don't think I was really acting contrary to the plan because it all worked towards disbandment and towards handing over the docket, including the court cases.
Do you accept that your instruction that court-going cases must be transferred to head office contradicts bullet point 4 on page 372?
Can we fix, Chair, this thing that my instruction that the docket be transferred to head office? Because that's not the instruction that I gave, that the docket be transferred to head office. I said to the Divisional Commissioner Crime Detection.
But General, even that is contrary to the plan because the plan is that court-going dockets must remain with the PKTT. That's why the minister says, I approve the plan subject to the condition that the disbandment be completed in 2025. So even the minister was happy that the PKTT must continue to exist at least until the end of 2025. And court-going dockets were to remain with the current investigating officers, not to go to a different division.
You know why I'm taking time and quiet, Chair? It's like when I juxtapose what is contained in the report, the study that says we need to re-establish the specialized unit, the murder and robbery unit, and to capacitate them and to make sure that we resource them, resource capacity. And then with this instruction that says, all right, investigate, and then the court-going docket must remain there. Now, I'm trying, from my angle, in trying to push the performance of the detectives and capacitating the environments that we are talking about. In my case, to me, it was like all rivers leading into the ocean. I was saying we need to capacitate the murder and robbery unit, because in the murder and robbery unit, you don't have ordinary detectives who are not experienced. And even the same people that were there, they could still be the same people that just taken into the murder and robbery with their dockets.
General, question is, do you accept that your instruction that all dockets must go to General Sentumule was at odds with what the plan said, which was, insofar as court-going dockets are concerned, those are not to be transferred to General Sentumule? That's the simple point Ms. Hassim is making. Do you accept that? That is, you gave an instruction that was at odds with the plan. Whatever the justification.
Out of respect of the chair, I will accept, but under normal circumstances, chair, I was not going to accept in this sense, in a sense that...
You must testify in accordance with what you know, the factual position that you know. It doesn't matter who the question comes from. Do you accept that your plan was that, or rather, your instruction that all dockets, including dockets in respect of court-going matters, should be transferred to General Sentumule?
That was my instruction, Chair.
Thank you. The answer, Ms. Hassim, is that he accepts that his instruction was at odds with the plan.
Thank you, General. I think we can leave it there, because what that confirms then is that you were acting on your own without, not in accordance with instructions from either the Minister or the National Commissioner.
I was not acting on my own, I was acting in terms of my mandate as the head of detectives.
Okay.
General, if you would have in front of you your statement and file 2, the National Commissioner says he doesn't know, you were doing your own thing, he's being honest. You've criticized the National Commissioner because you said, but I got an instruction from his office. You have repeatedly said, I acted on the National Commissioner's instruction as communicated to me. All I'm putting to you, or that I'm discussing with you, is but SS9 doesn't instruct you or even authorize you to implement a deactivation of the PKTT. So you could not have been relying on SS9 to implement with immediate effect the deactivation of the PKTT.
May I respond, Chair?
Yes.
When we read SS9, can we also take it along with SS10? The very next page, which is at page 200. Meaning, I'm now forwarding the same instruction from the National Commissioner's Office, same instruction to the Divisional Commissioner. I'm communicating, I'm doing that what the National Commissioner says, I want you to do the following. The same email.
What did the National Commissioner say he wants you to do? That's really my discussion with you, General. You just tell us, what did the National Commissioner say he wants you to do on the 3rd of January?
To communicate the deactivation.
Yes.
To the relevant team.
Yes.
And that's how I understand it, the deactivation.
To communicate it.
To the team.
Yes.
In other words, inform the team.
Yes.
That now we are embarking on a different road trip. We are now deactivating.
And what I'm saying to you is, looking at this Brigadier Litoko email, it does not give you instruction to implement the deactivation. It says only 2 things. It says communicate and submit a closeout report. The implementing part is not in that. It's not the basis on which you could have acted, because it's not part of that email from Brigadier Litoko.
When the minister wrote a letter to the National Commissioner to say, this is what I see, how I see it, and this is what I want done, the moment the National Commissioner implement the national, or forward it to the next person lower, is the National Commissioner is beginning to act on the minister's letter.
That's the way you see it.
That's the way I see it. That's now beginning to implement.
Yes.
There's the implementation now. Because if the National Commission was not in agreement, it was going to have to bounce back from that level back and say, can I engage? But now, in this case, the fact that now it had to now cascade further down, it means now we are now in an implementation stage.
Can we agree? I think it's easier if we agree that that SS9, which is also repeated in SS10, does not say to you, implement the deactivation. It doesn't say that when you read it. Just on the face of it, General, and it really should be easy for you to accept that.
What makes it difficult for me to accept is that a close-up report, the word close-up report, is a big word.
No, it may be a big word, General. You say three things. You know you're distinguishing between, in your paragraph 71, you distinguish between a close-up report and implementation of the deactivation. So you understood it as you were drafting this 71, paragraph 71, that those two are different. So let's not now conflate them and try and make them to mean the same thing, or implementation flows from a close-up report. You understand and you express it that way in paragraph 71, that he instructed you to do three things. You don't say in 71, he said, communicate and prepare close-up report, and because he said prepare close-up report, I started implementing. That's not what you say. You say, he said implement. And so where he says he never gave me instructions to implement, he's being dishonest. That's what you've said consistently. And what I'm putting to you, or what I'm simply discussing with you, is you could not rely on SS9, and insofar as you're trying to rely on SS10, you can't for the instruction to implement, because they do not say to you implement. They say only two things: close-up report, communicate.
I think, Chair, at this point in time, and I beg for your indulgence on this one, Chair, in this sense, if myself, I get this email and I give it to my legal team who assist me to craft the statement, who also understand it the same way and say, all right, in crafting and the word implement was used, as far as I'm concerned, this is how I understood it to mean. But if I was wrong, or maybe in the eyes of the chair or the commissioners, is two different words, I will accept it without being argumentative. But as far as I'm concerned, the intention was not to deviate from the National Commissioner's instruction, because to me, as far as I'm concerned, I thought it means exactly the same thing. So
the proposed plan once again negated my instruction that there must be a gradual wind down of the operation of the task team, and I wasn't prepared to sign the document. That's what the National Commissioner says happened, that you've presented one plan on the 14th, which was an issue that, again, I found quite confusing from your statement, because in your statement, you don't tell us that you presented a plan on the 14th, which the National Commissioner rejected, and then you went and presented another one on the 15th. You don't tell us that. But that's what he says. You had two plans. The second one, again, he rejected it because you wanted an immediate disbandment. And then, just for completeness, in the next paragraph of that document, he then says he then went to General Khumalo and asked him to prepare a plan. And that's the plan, the 6 March document that we discussed, and the later plan. That's a General Khumalo document. All it comes down to, and this is what I want to put to you, all it comes down to is you did not have an instruction from the National Commissioner to implement a disbandment, a deactivation plan. He didn't give you that instruction on the 3rd of January. On the 14th, he rejected your plan, which you don't tell us that in your statement. You don't say that he rejected. I gave him my plan and he rejected it, saying he doesn't like immediate disbandment. On the 15th, he rejected your plan, and this is documents that you have provided, by the way, the affidavit, to prove that the General Masemula has said these things on record. On the 15th, he rejected your plan. But on the 7th, and you don't tell us that, on the 17th, you then issue this much debated letter, which is SS13. You issue it on the 17th. And in your evidence, you issue it on the strength of Brigadier Litoko's email.
Forgive me, Chair.
Yes.
Forgive me, Chair. When Commissioner Baloyi referred me to a paragraph, and I read the paragraph, in my mindset, I begin to formulate a response. And as I formulate the response, she goes on to the next one, and she goes to the next one, and to the next one. Now I'm struggling to follow on her, because if she goes too deep.
My biblical reaction. But let your yes be yes, and your no, no. For whatever is more than these is from the... You know how you pick up who's up to no good in such environments where clear questions are asked, where you need clear answers? One of the easiest ways to know who's up to no good is you never get a yes, you never get a no. In fact, this is how you pick up destructive ideologies as well. They never have a yes, they never have a no. That's when you know that there's something shady going on underground. In such environments of scrutiny, watch out for the people who are able to have a lot of yes and no. And be very afraid of the people who never have a yes, never have a no. Watching Shadrack Sibiya was exhausting. Let me hear at the bottom what you think. Do you think he's not saying yes, not saying no because he's up to serious shenanigans? Let me hear your thoughts, but make sure you grab your copy of The Soft Life 3 Secrets Comrades Don't Want You to Know while it's available. No man can serve two masters, for either you love the one or hate the other, or despise the one and honor the other. You cannot serve God and Karl Marx, so let's make history together. Make sure you subscribed and you've rung the bell and selected all. Cheers.